everybody, it's Trisha, the Left-Handed Stitcher. I'm here tonight to do my end of year 2023 review, which includes a WIP parade, a finish parade, basic review, some stats, and some plans. So buckle up, Buttercup, get your drink. This is gonna take a while. Alright, so let's get started. I will do most of the rambly bits at the end. Of course, I will ramble a bit as I'm doing it, like I normally do, but we'll do the more rambly bits at the end. We'll see how this goes. I've done some prep work. So I'll talk about it as I progress along. So this guy is one of two. So Jingle. This is a Lizzie Kate pattern. It's from her. I didn't write it down here. Crap. It's like Tiny Tidings XIV or something like that. But he is adorable. This particular one is my third time stitching it. I stitched it once for myself last year or the year before. Oh, come on. Phone. Like timing. I had it on my phone, and then my phone went to sleep as soon as I grabbed it. So this little guy was number 2, and he got finished as a flat ornament, and I added a little row of jingle bells underneath with some beads because, it seemed appropriate. And this was an exchange with the El Paso stitching group when we went to Camp Stitchmore in October. So, okay, that goes. Excuse me a second. I drank a lot of soda before I started this because we had dinner. Okay, so they're all three of them were stitched on 32 count Moonstone Lugana by Color and Cotton. And number 2 and number 3 were both started and finished in March of this year. Because I knew I wanted to stitch them for retreat exchanges. And this one, as long as everything goes well, we'll get FFO'd tomorrow for Stitch Away coming up in a week. But I stitched this one with all of the called for, which is, well, all of the called for DMC and overdyed flosses. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I went for the first one. The only overdyed I used was the blue in the background. But this one, I think I went and I bought the called fors for all of the flosses. But he's adorable. So flippin' adorable. I love him. Alright. So just in case what I'll do is I'll do any new starts. I will talk about the things, the accoutrements, but for the WIPs that are carried over, they're going to have the same stuff as last year. So I think what I'll do is I'll only tell you the specifics for the new stuff. So this needle minder, I don't have it. Crapola. I ordered it off of Etsy. If anybody's interested, you can message me in the comments and I'll look it up for you. But let me get the needles off, you can see it better. This is so cute, little polar bear, just sacked out. because it was appropriate. Grime guard made by me, and the project bag, I think you've seen this one before. This was a gift at one of the San Antonio area retreat get-togethers. One of the girls made, if I remember correctly, because this one doesn't have a tag, because I don't, so I have it. See, the problem is when I have a WIP going, its little card has extra slots where I put this information down, and because this was a new start this year, it didn't even get one of those cards. I didn't sit down to update all these little cards until after I'd finished it, so it didn't seem necessary at the time. Past Trisha didn't think it was going to be useful. Maybe next year's Trisha will remember my frustration at this point. Okay, so that, you know what, let's just do quick little stats, some stats that are pertinent to this right here. So I had 20 new starts in 2023, and I had 11 finishes. So, but this was a new, both of them were new start and finish for this year. And these are in no particular order. My WIPs are in alphabetical order, because that's what I like to do. Okay, so grab the card, and so this is a WIP. It was, excuse me, last year's, not this year's, last year's Camp Stitchmore, one of the projects. So she gave us this basket cloth, because she gave us a basket, and the theme that year was It's a Small's World after all. So she gave us a project that was the basket cloth and then a bunch of smalls to go in the basket. And so I had started this at the retreat, and I don't know if you can see. So her saying that she had on here was, she works willingly with her hands. And if it says on here, I know it's a proverb. Here, Proverbs 31:13. But being not terribly religious, I had started to stitch it like that, and I decided don't really care for it. So I asked her to rechart, or either give me the alphabet or rechart it for me, and she recharted it for me, and I let her know I wanted to do My Soul is Fed by Needle and Thread. So there it is. And the way she did it is you pull all the threads on the edges up to, because this is a back stitch line, and you make it all fringy. And I haven't decided yet if I want to make it fringy or turn the edges and sew an actual edge, a turned edge. Is that what you call it? But I'm in no hurry, because I don't have space to do, like displays and stuff like that in this house. So this would be something that would end up more important later on when we move and I have a big I'm planning to have a big craft space. Just the details on this. It's designed by Faithworks, which is Nancy Waller. She called it the Camp Stitchmore 30 because it was their 30-year anniversary basket cloth. And so it was a kit that was given to us. It's a Lugana, just a white Lugana. Her threads were, let's see, I'm trying to think. So we used Heather, which is a DMC 4505. And the back stitch was in Anchor 871. And what it is I couldn't find the threads that I had used for it, so I matched it up with my DMC, and I found one that was close. It was actually quite close, so I found the DMC one. I frogged the words I had started, and I put in the new phrase. So this is a project bag. Oh, this is so pretty. But this is a WIP, so I don't know if you care. It's Mystic Meadow Creations. It's one that I generally haven't stupid. Nope, not stupid. Just not updated. I didn't update the card. I actually put this in Mary Rose Creations bag. And I buy a lot of her bags. It's just so pretty. I mean, I'm not a brown person, but something about this spoke to me. So I'm glad I bought it. Okay, so let's put the card back. Okay. This is gonna be a while. Alright, so also stats. I may repeat this later on, but just so you know, I have 11 finishes to show you, and I started the year with 28 WIPs, and now I'm up to 37 WIPs. So, okay, this one is from the, so this was a start and finish this year, because it was the project for the spring retreat, El Paso Cruise spring retreat. So this is called Springtime Quaker, and she actually gave us the clock. It's a hanging clock to FFO it in, but because I just don't have space for large knickknacks. What's the word I was looking for? I think it's a Yiddish word. Anyways, and it was a kit, so all of the floss. Generally, her floss, she does Anchor in her kits. And let me see, they're all Anchor. She didn't have any specialty floss. So let's do it this way. I stitched the majority of it in. Ooh, that's getting blown out. Okay. So, isn't that cute? It's just a bunch of little motifs. It was fun to stitch. And I'm trying to think. There's a couple of spots, like the sheep. Sheep is, you know, it's white on white, so it does. I mean, in real life, you can see that there's stitches there, but super cute. Eventually, I will FFO it in the manner that she, well, I might do it in the manner that she gave us. That is when I go to FFO it, if I can find it, because we're probably going to have moved by then. So this was started at the retreat and finished like the day or two after the retreat. That was in March. So there it is. And I'm pretty sure you've seen this project bag before. But let's just review. And again, it's a finish. If you're curious, I'll look it up. Just tell me pink monstera. Because I love pink, and monsteras are such cool plants. Okay, so this is gonna be fun. Alright, next one is called Winter is Coming by Stitches Through the Years. And I did not print out, I didn't print out a picture because I have a finish. I printed out pictures for WIPs that I didn't already have stock photos for. So this is how it turned out. It's so pretty. Now, I'm not big on samplers, but something about, I do like Quakers, and something about this one really drew me. So, it's just adorable. And this is a series, so you'll see 2 more in my WIPs. I have the 4th one is a kitted project. Okay, so let's set you there. Okay, so this one was a WIP from last year. So that can go back. Okay, this one was a WIP. I was doing La-Di-Da's Something Wicked as a stitch along with my Stitching Misfits group. Okay, so I'm having to reach into 2 project bags because it went with me to a couple of retreats for the brack tables. Alright, so here is my finish. Love how it turned out. So this is stitched on 32 count dirty chalkboard by Be Stitch Me, and I picked my own colors. They're all, well, most of them are Belle Soie. So the black is, or where's that Dinky Dyes? Okay, I picked Dinky Dyes. I used black coral, jungle green, hibiscus, argyle. And so the boot is in black coral. The words are in jungle green, and I kind of love how they're kind of fadey. They're just, what's the word? They're just kind of there and not there at the same time. I mean, in real life, you see them a lot better than you do on the camera. And of course, I had to make the sock a pink and orange coloration. The boot interior is a DMC, and the spiders are just DMC black, or Anchor black. One of those two. I just use black for that. But I love this. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Alright, so that's my Something Wicked. And what we'll do is we'll put that there. Get the card back in. Okay. this one was a WIP. I finished this. I'm so happy with this one. So I had this one was, okay, Winter is Coming was on my year of WIPs. See, I have my notes in my list. So, and, okay, so Winter is Coming and Something Wicked were on my year of WIPs, and they're finishes for year of WIPs. Fox and Friend is also a year of WIPs, and it was a finish. So here's the stock photo, and here is, so I was thrilled. It was my goal to finish this so I can put it on the brag table at the craft gallery retreat where their designer was Teresa Kogut. So this is a pattern by Teresa Kogut, and he is just gorgeous. So gorgeous. He was super fun to stitch. The background, the frame was pretty fun to stitch. Those fronds were bare because they're very confetti. But I left a little birdie for the very last thing to stitch. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So this was stitched on 32 count Murano and Sage. I bought a good bulk of it off of Etsy, and when I thought, well, I need to stitch this on a green, I did a floss toss and went, that'll work. That'll work. So nice. Love him. Love him. Alright, you can go. So again, anything that you have questions about that I don't pass along, just ask. I will be happy to tell you and look it up if I need to. Alright, so I'm trying to get these back into their project bag that they traveled in. And keep them fairly straight so they just stay nice in case I get the urge to FFO one of them soonish. Okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get for right now. Okay, time for alright. So next one. Next one is called, I call it 'Tis the Holly, because it is part of Blackbird Designs pattern called 'Tis the Season. I'm sure you guys are familiar, the one with the cardinal. And so here is you've seen this before. This is the third time I've stitched this. So this one is the one for me. I have stitched it 2 previous times for an exchange and for a gift. But this one is for me. I mean, darn it, I just ran out of time, so it's not FFO'd for this year. But I will FFO, I mean, at some point. I will get to FFOing it. So what I did is I truncated the end. If you haven't seen my previous videos where I explain where I got this from, I truncated the end and I truncated it at the bottom too. Now once I did that, the distribution of the little motifs that are around seemed a little off, so I rearranged them just so they fit the space better. But I am so thrilled with how this came out. I had a vision and it came out exactly how I wanted it to. So I picked my own colors. I used Classic Colorworks Belsois in Icing, Poison Apple, Moss, Tortoiseshell, and Herb Garden. And this is stitched on 32 count Lugana in taupe. But gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm gonna love it. Love having this on. Right now we only have a little 2.5 foot tabletop tree because we had a dog for a while and we moved to the tabletop tree because he would have chewed on it, being the way he was. So we moved to it, and now we just keep it that way because it's easier. At some point when we move to another house and we have just a little bit more room, and we don't have the mother-in-law anymore, we'll put our big tree up again. Or who knows, maybe I have a craft room big enough to put up my own tree to put cross-stitch ornaments on. We'll see. That's always a possibility. Okay, so this next one was a start and finish this year. Picked this up at Stitch Away in January. The girls in the group, we decided to make this a stitch along. We started it on February 1st. So I stitched it on 32 count Lugana in Dirty Chalkboard again by Stitch Me. I love this fabric. And I stitched it with the kit floss. It was a cottage garden threads, so I didn't use the kit linen. And this was fun. This was super fun. It's got good variegation to it. I give it that. It's got good, it's a gorgeous color, good variegation. Super short lengths. Super short lengths. That was a bit annoying. But so pretty. So the cottage garden thread that it used is called leather bound. Was what it was. And I'm very happy with how it turned out on my choice of fabric. Okay, so next, I think this, well, two more. One physical and one picture. So this is, we're going to see how this works. Let's see. I don't have a board, but I do have, give me a sec. To have a piece of cardstock. There we go. Alright, so this is, I mean, normally I got these things in Q-snaps, so they're easy to show. So this is called Jack in the Hat by Stitches Through the Years? No, Threadwork Primitives. Let me get this out. So, Threadwork, Threadwork Primitives. They have an Etsy store, and you can, I'm seeing their patterns on 123 as well. But Jack in the Hat, he's adorable. Such a cute, just a cute pattern. And my plan was to finish it like it shows in the stock photo. It's a little pouch, and so I decided to stitch it on the linen, called for linen. So it's called for linen and called for fancy floss. They were looks like, well, 3 gassed, 1 Weeks, dye works, and 1 DMC is what was used. But so my plan was to, had stitched this for, had started this to be an exchange. It was supposed to be my Halloween exchange, but someone else in the El Paso group stitched it and said they were going to do it as the exchange. So I was like, okay, I will hold off and I'll do this in the future, and it'll give me a little bit more time to do the finishing on it. My FFO plan for it. So at least it'll be super cute when it's done. So let's get this back into its bag. Organize a little bit. Put that back in there. And my last finish that I'm going to show you, again, not in any particular order. So, and it's just stupid. I did the FFOing like right before the event, so stupid me, didn't take my own pictures, so I had to ask somebody who took pictures of them at the retreat to send me. Okay, so this is called Freaky Fair Isle, and it was a stitch along. Let's see if this works better. It was a stitch along by Cobweb Corner and Helen D. It's a pattern by Barbie of Pedal Pusher, and it's stitched on 14 count black perforated paper with Weeks Dye Works Ultraviolet, and it was such a cute, so cute. So I finished it as a hanging ornament, and I attached a little moon bead or charm to the bottom, and it turned out so cute. And this stitched up like it only took me 4 days to stitch this up. So cute. I wish I had a better picture for you, but because that red background just doesn't do it any favors. But that was such a fun. So you can get the PDF version from Cobweb Corner if you are interested in stitching it, because it turned out super cute. Again, that was called Freaky Fair Isle by Pedal Pusher. Okay, so now let's get into the whips. Whips. Again, I organized my whips for this in alphabetical order. Because that's what satisfies my OCD. Alright, so this first one is an ongoing whip. And I just carry it in a laptop bag. When I needed a laptop bag, I ordered a few different ones. And the ones that I didn't use, I have been using for other things. So I used 2 of them as project bags. Okay, so this is Antique Celtic Sampler by Elizabeth's Needlework Designs. And I just love the Celtic feel of it. And a lot of people just refer to this one as Here Be Monsters. So here is what it looks like now. Let's move that aside. I'm stitching with all the called for, and this is how far I've gotten. Okay, so let's just quickly, I've been really debating on this. So I'm not good right now at adding pictures in the frame, but eventually maybe I'll figure it out. So for this year, instead of stressing myself out about doing that, I'm going to put the beginning of 2023 pictures in my Google Docs, and I will link the folder in the description of this video. So if you're interested, you know, you can, hey, open that up, have that off to the side, you know, and see, open the picture for each one and see what, if that's something that interests you. But I made a decent amount of progress this year. So I'm trying to think about doing a little slideshow of beginning of the year, end of the year. I don't know, we'll see. But so as you may notice, I have frogged the stuff that was in here. As you can see, there's little curlicue and two birds. Birds didn't fit. To me, they did not fit the theme as Here Be Monsters. I mean, yeah, there was the movie Birds, but birds generally are just little cute things. So I charted it out. So I scooched it over a little bit and put a little monster there instead. So I have it charted, and so when I get to stitching on this again, at some point I'll put that in. But right now you can see I have a hanging thread. I started on this bottom border. But such a neat little pattern. It's unique, and I love the Celtic feel to it. So this is being stitched on 32 count cream Lugana with all of the overdyes, and it's a given. I'm stitching on 32 count. I'm stitching with 2 threads, and this WIP has been going since 2019, but it's getting close. You know, depending on how, okay, so depending on how the prompts go. Prompts for, because I do magical stitches, and the prompts, each year there's a different flavor, and certain projects tend to get more love during that year. So we'll see how this next year pans out, and because it's a kind of a cryptids year, I'm thinking this one might get a fair amount of love. So it might get a finish this next year. Okay. So we're doing it this way. Alright. I mean, I've got, right now, my WIPs fit into 4 of the IKEA Kallax fabric bins. Next year, it'll probably be 5. Because as many of you, well, if you know, you know. If you don't, I'm doing 12 kit starts next year. not to mention all of the other starts that I might happen throughout the year. What I call the organic starts. They're started for a certain reason. So this is one of the Stitches Through the Years seasonal Quakers. This one's called Autumn is Coming. Granted, this picture was pretty crappy. My printer didn't like trying to print these pictures out. So, and here is where we're at. So, decent start, not too far along. But I've made a few changes with the floss, so I think we'll wait. And I'm still not certain about some of them, so I'll wait till this is a finish to tell you what flosses I used. Although I can tell you right now that orange that's in the leafy crest, see what symbol is that? Duck. It's a little bit unusual. So I'm using Color and Cotton Old Brick for that. And I love the variegation that's in this. It's just so pretty. Okay, so details. Grime Guard made by me. Needle Minder. Ruh-roh Raggy is by a Etsy store called Stu Art Stitches Shop. he just makes me giggle. Ruh-roh Raggy. Told you, Stitches Through the Years. I got these patterns off of Etsy. So, but this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana and taupe, and I think the colors do really well on. I love taupe because it's a cool beige, and colors just do so well on it, so I love using it. So this was a new start this year. Let me pull all the stuff out to show you the project bag. This is a project bag by Crickle Wood Crossing. So pretty little acorns, and I just love this stripy autumnal print. And it just kind of, so as you notice, some of my accoutrements for my projects are matchy-matchy. Some are just what is closest for me to grab when I'm starting the project. But this is a new start this year, and it was started for a prompt in my Magical Stitches, something with leaves in it. And I think I had just finished The Winter is Coming, and I enjoyed it so much I wanted to start the other ones relatively soon. Every once in a while I'm gonna have to lean down and push bags along. Okay, so this is the first one. There were I think 11 or ish of my WIPs. So what I did is, if I went through them, and if you couldn't see all of my stitching within the Q-snap, I took them off the Q-snap. And because the projects that come off a Q-snap are super, uber rumpled, wrinkled, I touched them with an iron just to get them flat again. There's still wrinkles, so they're not perfect, but at least they're going to be easier for me to show you. So this is a carried over. Yes, this is a WIP that I had last year. So Azure Mermaid by Nora Corbett. She's cute. So, and here is where we have got. There we are. So she is stitched on 32 count Lugana from Picture This Plus in Helix. It just seemed like a nice watery background. So I've got her whole tail stitching done, and I'm working on her hair and the seaweedy trundles that are with her. And I'm stitching with all the call fors. So once her hair and all the seaweed is, and just all the non-skin stuff is stitched, I'll stitch her skin. And then comes the beads. So, see, get up close so you can kind of see better. And as you can see, I grid. Some projects just kind of scream, you need to be gridded. And I grid with 9-pound test red Cajun fishing line. It just works so well with 32 count. And she's so pretty with the blues and greens. And she was started for Stitch Mania 2020. And again, kind of anticipating this year to be, in Magical Stitches, to be a year that kind of lends itself more to mythical creatures. So she has the potential to get a fair amount of love this next year. Because I didn't say at the beginning, because I'm not in the habit of doing that, but today is the 31st of December 2023. Alright, so this next one was a carried over project from last year. And let's get to the card. And so this is Berry Patch by Hello from Liz Matthews. There we go. Just a cute little pattern. I bought this at StitchCon that year. I think this one, yeah, see, I bought it at StitchCon and I started it at New Jersey Retreat in 2022 as their 6 and 6. 6 starts in 6 hours. And I got a little bit of love this year. Okay, so see, I had a piece of paper where I wrote this information down. I think it's in my planner. Yep. Okay, so I went through and I checked, and I only have 2 of my WIPs that I didn't touch this year. And that is Pink Floppy and Spring is Coming. So everything else got some stitches this year in 2023. So there's where I'm at. Fair amount of stitching to do. This is one, it's a fun little stitch. I don't have any plans for it. It was just this is a cute pattern, and let's see if I remember correctly. It was also a magical stitches prompt? I don't know. I don't think so. I think this, what it was is, that year I had the thought of, I wanted to try to start and stitch at least one or more of the patterns that I buy at retreats. Start them, you know, that year or the next year. And this was one of them that I decided on. So this is being stitched on 32 count antique blue Lugana, which is a base color from Zweigart, I think. And it's all DMC, all called for DMC. All the colors have, you know, Flosstube was promising, and all the colors have been doing well on this fabric. I think it's gonna just look cute on this. But if you haven't been with me before, I tend to be a process stitcher. I just love the process of the stitching. I'm not as driven for finishes as some people are. So that's why I don't mind letting WIPs just kind of languish. You know, they don't languish per se because I do stitch on them, but my stitching tends to be prompt driven on most projects. And like I said, some years I have different years have certain flavors. So certain projects get more love in certain years. They'll all get finished. I mean, 38 WIPs isn't too bad. And I'm comfortable because, again, I'm a process stitcher. Alright, so this is a new start this year. I started this at Stitch New Jersey as 3 and 3. So it is Coastal Holiday Lighthouse stocking. And it's in Stony Creek. Let's see, it's again summer 2018. What's the word I'm looking for? Okay. If it's a show, it's an episode. If it's a magazine, it's a edition. I don't know. Okay. So there it is. I saw this on a Flosstube. Ooh. Did I write it on my card? It'd be nice if I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Maybe next time. I'll remember to write myself a note so I can... But, okay, so she showed her stocking being stitched. She was 70% done, and I fell in love with it. So I had to go... Thankfully, I could just go to Stony Creek and order the magazine to stitch, but this is one that got, so when I took them out of their, let me show you this real quick. When I took them out of the Q-snap, normally I put their needle minder in the bag, into the bag, but since I was doing so many of them, what I did is I had some cardstock and I just wrote the project name on there, and I put their needle minder with their needles on there. So, because it just seemed better for this particular situation. So this is how far I've gotten. So I started this because, I mean, it was something that I wanted to start, and I ended up starting it at New Jersey for the 3 and 3. So here we go. So I've got the fair amount done. And I started this, yeah, in New Jersey, so that was July. But so pretty. So pretty. I mean, again, my hanging thread that you can see is the back stitching. So I'm doing back stitching as I go, and so that it's not a big slog at the end. So pretty. So this is being stitched on 32 count vintage Stormy Lugana, and I thought it was the called for too, and it is perfect. I'm stitching with the called for threads, which is all DMC except for there's one fancy floss, which, let me tell you, and there's, of course, it's a Stony Creek, so there's buttons that I have to order for it, and some beads. So the one is a Threadworks 1069 called Spanish Olives, and that's just the little swirly bit up here. So you could easily substitute that, but I ordered the called for because I felt like it. So I really enjoy stitching this. This got a lot of love until I started another project, and it's been getting a lot of my attention the past few months. But I'll get back to this because this is nice. Alright, so since this is a new start this year, let's do this. Project bag is a Creations by Mary Rose. God, I love that. Love the plaid, and I love cardinals. And this one was kind of a matchy-matchy thing. Grime Guard was made by me. Not really matchy-matchy. And let's see. And my needle minder that I'm using. Let's just show you real quick. Needle minders for Azure Mermaid is a Cricklewug Crossing. That one is my StitchCon by StitchCon logo. These are the ones for Compass Rose when it comes up. These are both Etsy buys. And this one was, I think this might have been Etsy buy for Florographica. I might pull this back out when they come up, but if I forget. Because it's going to be kind of, well, it won't be that big of a hassle to just grab that and show you. But I did pull a needle off. This one went on Compass Rose. Well, what you'll notice is that I will also often have threads hanging, because usually these are, I keep my project in their Q-snaps. And so they're ready for me whenever I want to stitch on them. And because I do prompts, I do a certain number of stitches and then I stop usually. Most of the time. So I started this one both as a Stitch New Jersey 3 and 3, and also, like I said, for a Magical Stitches prompt, something with a flame in it, because there's a candle in his little lantern. So that worked perfectly. Sometimes the ones I take to retreats for starts are planned because of a prompt, and sometimes they're just something I pick. So there, we go this way. Okay, the next one is Compass Rose. So this is a carried over WIP. This one's a big one. So it got taken out of its, and I have to keep it like so. So this is Compass Rose by Draco Layer Creations. This one is out of print. You might be able to find it on eBay. I mean, it's out of print because this designer went out of business. Doesn't design anymore. But I love this. Good. Just, it's an awesome, and it's a big piece. So when this is finished, whether I frame it or I do a wall hanging, I think it might lend itself more to a wall hanging because it's a mappy, it's a map kind of thing. All right, we're gonna have to stand up for this one. This one is enormous. Okay, as you can see, I have the frame almost done. Just a little bit there. Let me get it a little closer. So as you can see right here, this is where I started back stitching. And these hanging threads are back stitching threads that were parked. This is my stitching thread that was parked. So I got just a little bit more, and I'm back stitching as I go. And once I hit this corner, I'm gonna back stitch up and around until I get back down to these places. But let's see if I can get back even further. Maybe try to get the whole thing. Nope, can't get the whole thing in, but scrolling. Once I get the border done, I will start moving into the center with the stitching. So this one, I enjoy the stitching. Well, it's going to be a little bit of, it's a lot of fractionals. So we'll see how much I enjoy it, but I love the pattern. I love this project. So I'm excited to get done with this border so I can start moving in. So let's do this. Just get you a little bit of, so if you can see, there's the border. And it's because it's an old map kind of thing, it's going to be a little bit weathered, and that's what I like. So this is being stitched on 32 count color and cotton sandstone, and this is a Joblin. But I thought it was perfect because it has that weathered map look to it. I think maybe you can see it right there. And of course I gridded this one because it screamed. And this, because how big it was, it took me a while, but it's worth it. It is worth it. Because I didn't want to risk having a big mistake that it takes me forever to figure. Because of the gridding, I'm positive that my border is going to match up. So, and I'm stitching with all the called fors. It's a mix of DMC and Fancy Floss, and there's some Krennic, which I probably will try to change to Petite Treasure braid. It's 2/2 on the 32 count Joblin. This one's been going since 2019. Again, because it has mythical creatures on it, I'm kind of hoping that this year's Magical Stitches will give it a fair amount of love. Love it. So let's rearrange these. They go, there's a certain order that the stuff has to be in for it to go gracefully into the project bag. So I'm using my biggest project bag that I have, which give me a moment. I'm blanking on the maker. It's one of my favorite. So, well, I didn't write it down. Grr. Because this got changed. Because the project bag, this one I got was bigger. So if you're interested, just ask. Maybe I will happen across another one because her stuff. Oh wait, never mind. Saved by a label. So it's Creative Carol Designs, and I love her bags because the handle, they're well made, and she makes some of them. She makes big. Because sometimes we got the BAPs that we need a project bag that will fit, and I'm doing it. He must have cut. I'm having to make my fuzzy pants into short shorts. The heat kicked on. And I'm in the middle of a hot flash. So, I cobbled a odd sized frame. So probably, well no. Never mind. Scratch that. This is just an 11 by 11 for this project because it's nice not to have to move my Q-snap quite so often since the border is 3 stitches wide, so I would have to move it a lot if I didn't have it on an 11 by 11. So there we go. There's compass rose, and eventually I will do this a bit more gracefully. So the needle minders were, so this one was by Top Knot Stitcher, and this one was an Etsy purchase. I haven't written that down. Let me make a note, because this one's going to be around a while. It'd be nice if I had the information. I ordered that one specifically for this because a compass rose. For a compass rose. Okay. There we go. You know what, and the beauty of printing my patterns on cardstock, here's one, or here's, it cut off, so I had to print it again, is when I'm having a hot flash. I can do a little fanning. And the cardstock makes it nice for when I'm highlighting. Gives me a little bit more structure. Okay, there was compass rose. Oh, this back of this project bag. So pretty. So pretty. As soon as I saw this one on her Etsy page, I had to order it. Okay, one more in this, oh, 2 more in this bucket bin. So this was a new start this year. called Cross Stitch Nation. So there it is, by Heartstring Samplery. Boom. Okay, so this was started for a magical stitches prompt of something with more than 3 people, because more than 3 people, although I cheated. Because I am not stitching the people. I saw this, someone else had stitched it where they took the people out and they just did the border, the words, and the border, and it looked really cool. So here's my start on the Cross Stitch Nation. It says I belong to the Cross Stitch Nation. So pretty. So this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Silvery Moon, and I picked all of my own colors, so I will tell you when it's finished, because some of them, as I stitch them, I may decide they don't quite look right. But I can tell you right now that what I've stitched so far is in Gassed Freedom, and another color that I'm planning to use is this pink, which was Color and Cotton Mist Dye. So I figure those colors go really good together, and I love my pinks, so I think that will look pretty in there as the border. So let's see what else. New Start. It doesn't have grime guard or a Q-snap because it was started I think I didn't have enough Q-snaps. I needed to borrow it. But let's see. So it doesn't even have a needle minder either. That's alright. But its project bag is by Ragtag Quilt Art on Etsy. And it's this super cute, you know, cross stitch theme and the coordinating fabric on the back. So this was just pretty. And I tend to buy my project bags more for what's on the outside, because once you have your stuff in the project bag, you're not going to see that inner fabric all that often. There is Cross Stitch Nation, abbreviated. But until I get so far along, you're not going to know that I'm not stitching the people. Okay, so boom. Let's take a drink real quick. This one is a carryover from last year and previous years. So, let's get its card. This is DMC Rose. It's a kit by DMC. I had to search for this one. I saw it on Flosstube some time ago by Stitching in SA, South Africa. She was stitching this, and she was pretty close to done. It was gorgeous. So I had to hunt it down. So this was started for Stitch Mania 2020. And this is also on an 11 by 11 Q-snap. So it's hard to find a project bag to fit. But there it is. So this got a little love this year. Oh, it's pretty. I think I basically did this part, brought it down and around. And that's just a hanging thread. Or stitching not interrupted, but stitching finished with a thread hanging. But so far, you can just see how gorgeous this is going to be. So many gradations, colors in this. So I'm stitching this on 18 count white Ada and easy count by Schult, whatever, however you say it. Again, that company's name and my chiropractor's names are so close, I tend to forget which one I want to say. So this is all kit floss. The lengths are a little shorter than I like, but it goes okay. So pretty. So pretty. When I do stitch on this, I enjoy it. So it's a good project. Okay, so that is bucket 1. Let's get the projects. Sorry. Oh, jeez. My projects got all discombobulated. Sorry. Alright, let's move on to bucket number 2. Have these in, yes, they are in order. So this is a carryover. It is my DMC Willow. So there is basically what it looks like. Tiny little picture. But years ago in cross-stitch magazines, you could send a self-addressed stamped envelope to DMC and they would send you the pamphlet. And that's what I did. A while ago, the DMC had this on their website, but I don't think they have it on their website anymore. I looked. I was going to link it. I don't think they have it anymore. So my apologies if you like this and you want to go. So this is being stitched on the called for 14 count Ada in, it's a DMC fabric, color number 738. And this is not made anymore. I was hoping when I started this to find a 16 count in the same colorway, but they don't make it anymore. And I searched for an over-dyed fabric that I thought would work with this, and I struggled with it because this fabric has a unique look to it. So it's a biggie, so I gotta stand up. But this is where I'm at. I almost get the whole thing in camera when I stand way back. There it is. All of the branches in the foreground are stitched and complete. I'm currently working on the background shading and background branches. Those are all half stitches. So this was on my year of WIPs. Of course, that was one I did not finish. So this is being stitched with the called for DMC. 3 strands. On 3 strands on the cross stitches and 2 strands on the half stitches. So let's see if I can fold, get it up there a little bit closer so you can kind of see how that, I think what you're seeing is not, yeah, there we go. Because of the wrinkles, it adds some shadow and it looks like a branch, but no, it's not. But it's just a lot of half stitches in a very confetti configuration. It's one color, so it works. I just have to continue that across. I don't know if you can see on, I couldn't iron this one because it's gritted with friction pen, but I don't know, you can see the half stitches are dense in this corner and they kind of get lighter as they spread out. If you do a search on this, I was able to find one picture of a finished project. It's just, I grew up in Wisconsin, so pussy willows were part of my childhood. A very good memory of my childhood. So when I saw this, I was like, I have to stitch it. Now the one thing that I'm not doing on this is there are, in the pattern, there are little yellow French knots on the little fluffs part, because I think they wanted that to signify the pollen that they give off, and I was like, I don't need it. I think the pattern is just beautiful without it. So this one, and this is my oldest WIP, so it'll get some love this year. It's actually going to get some love this month, because one of the prompts in Magical Stitches in January, I say this month because it's like my mind is already in 2024. So is there anything else? Yeah, this is so old. I think I started it for Mania. There was one year I did like a single start for Mania, and this was it. It was around 2017. Sometime, well, not around, it was sometime in 2017, and I think it was for Mania. So, my DMC Willow. I can do this. Just had an idea. Make this a little easier. Alright, so the next one is a carryover, and it's Elizabeth by Glendon Place. This beautiful pattern. So pretty. Alright, so it got like I said, all but 2 of my projects got some love this year. So this one got a little bit of love, a little bit of progress. I'm not 100% happy with the fabric because it was supposed to be a 32 count. It's closer to a 30. It's a picture of this plus, so I think instead they sent me a 28. I'm not happy. The coverage is not the best, but I think I don't feel strongly enough about it to do a restart. I'm not discounting the possibility, but as of right now, it's not. So it's being stitched on 32 count, but no, it's not 30. It's 30. It's 28 count that turned into a 30 count because of Picture This Plus dyeing processes, and it's Picture This Plus petals. And I'm stitching it with all the called for DMC, and it will have a crap ton of beads on it. This was started for Stitch Mania 2020. Oh, let's remember to put the pattern back in. Okay, so this is a new start from this year. This was started as a stitch along with my Stitching Misfits crew, and it is a little pattern that I picked up at StitchCon. No, where did I do it? Yeah, it was StitchCon. We started this on 1 October. Now this picture is this colorway. It's not very appealing. I saw it as a stitched example at Keepsakes, and that's what really drew me. So this is what I'm doing it. So this is being stitched. Let me get my card. Doing it with one hand. Okay, so this is called Scaredy Cats by JBW Designs. I'm actually calling this Feline Halloween because it just rolls off the tongue better. Feline Halloween. Got all those kitty cats. Alright, so I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana in Vapors by Atomic Ranch. It's a very subtle model gray. I think you can see it there. But so I'm stitching this with Silken Colors 126 called Monster Mash is the letters, and the kitty cats are being stitched in NPI black. But this is how far I've gotten. I'm still debating my year of WIPs list for this year, and I think this one might get on that list. So this is a new start. You've seen the needle minder before. It's a retreat purchase. Yeah. Trying to remember. I think it was at the first Stitch Shenanigans is when I bought it. Her name was Jen, but I can't remember her handle. But Grime Guard, made by me. You've probably seen it before. But this project guide is new. This is from Just Crossing Stitches on Etsy. Of course, I love the pink, and look at that kitty cats. Love them. Meow. And this one just matches so well. This guy. So this one, like I said, was a group SAL start. Our SALs are start-alongs, not stitch-alongs. Because nobody wants the pressure of a stitch-along. So there we go. But yeah, God, that picture, no. Would never stitch it from that picture. That's why seeing someone who just chose colors and full in-person stitched example sometimes is so dangerous. Okay, so this one is a carryover. This is an Etsy. Let's just pull the whole stack out. This is an Etsy buy. It is Flora Graphica by Jan Hicks Creates. And this picture, printer couldn't handle the colors because she did it on a very odd colored fabric. And it was gorgeous, but the printer just couldn't handle it. But that's basically what it looks like. I'm a little confused because apparently I stuck a pattern in there. It was from Stitch Away, one of the gifts from the retreat. Okay, so this is being stitched on 32 count. I'm sure you'll be able to guess it. Lugana Dirty Chalkboard by Stitch Me. Now, I'm a little disappointed. I ordered another yard of it. It doesn't look the same. I'm sad. But it's, you know, it's still pretty fabric, so I'll use it for something. I'll probably order another yard of it at some point and hopefully get more of this gorgeous fabric. So this is as far as I've gotten. So pretty. So pretty. I started in this corner. And you can see I have all of the part threads from here, and this bottom didn't get finished because I think at that point I had park threads here. I decided to go in this direction instead. So I think when I finish this vignette, I'll probably go and start here because we'll see how it goes. Whichever. Maybe I'll just finish those threads out so then I can continue. Let's get up a little closer. There we go. There it is. I'm using all the called for floss, and it seems to be doing quite well on the chosen fabric. But it's such a pretty design. There's just something about the composition of it that called to me. And it's fun to stitch. So fun to stitch. And you can see I gridded this one too. It just screamed, I need to grid it. So this one is just fun, just super fun. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the extra stuff that I threw in this project bag at the retreat and just toss it over there for me to file with the patterns. Okay. So this one was started. I used it as a StitchCon new start in 2021. Trying to think, yeah, I was doing a start along with Maria Kutzner. I sat next to her that year. She is just delightful. So, nice Flora Graphica. Right. This one is a carryover as well. And it is Growth Rings by Ink Circles. And obviously I chose my own colors because at the time when I started this, the called for were Vicki Clayton threads, and she was not dyeing at that time, not dyeing threads. She'd taken a little hiatus from the business, so I couldn't get a hold of those. So I chose my own. So this is being stitched on 32 count Lugana in pearl gray, and there's where we're at. So pretty. All right, let's fold so that I can, that fold didn't go all that well. Here we go. So I can hold it up a little closer. So I love that blue, which is a Dinky Dyes Sapphire. I'm not sold on the pink yet. I'm 75% decided that it will work. This is the third pink that I have auditioned. So I think this one will work. I wanted to get a little bit more done so I could like hang it up and step back and see if it works for me. But this pattern is gorgeous, gorgeous. And these threads, that blue is beautiful, beautiful. So the pink that I'm using right now is called Brush Fire. Not brush, bush. Bush Fire. Or is it? No. I don't think so. I think I need to change my card. Let me make sure. Yep, so I need to change my card. This pink is actually Dinky Dyes Pink Tourmaline. So, just a real subtle variegation. I'm kind of thinking with so much variegation in the blue, having a pink with a more subtle variegation will work well, I think. So, yeah, let me make that change right now on my card. Pink. If I can spell it right. Tourmaline. It's number 115 if you like to have that information. Sometimes, because a lot of times Dinky Dyes is on a rack in the number order, not in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for it, having the number is helpful. So this was started Stitch Mania 2020. And when a prompt lends itself to doing this one is one that I try to, because it's, I don't know. When I'm not obsessed with a specific project, this is the one that I will pull when there's a very open-ended prompt. This one is a carryover. It will be a WIP for a very long time because it just doesn't have a, I don't have a need, the nature of it, and I don't have a need to finish it. So this one I call Herding Cats. So this is what I have so far. Just doot, 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 doot. My plan is just, I will continue to stitch little kitties on this massive piece of Lugana, 32 count in antique white, I think. This started as part of a color challenge in a previous year of Magical Stitches, I think. I don't know how far back. So let me see if I wrote it on my card. So this is the pattern that I got the little kitties from. This is called Hollow Cats, like Halloween cats. And it's a freebie on the website Tokens and Trifles freebies. And the colors that I pick for this are either a color challenge color or a random color. Like if I have a project nearby, I just pull an envelope out of that. If I don't, I'll go to my DMC. So they're all DMCs. DMC box with the envelopes in it, and just randomly pick one. Rather than trying to do any sort of color progression, or try not to allow my decision challenged self any room to dither-dather. So that's where that's at. And it's good for when they were doing the watch the movie and stitch while you watch the movie, because it's such a simple pattern. It was easy to follow and it fit the prompt. Okay, so next one is this is one of my BAPs. It's a big one. So this is Kingdom of Books. This is a kit from a Russian designer. I got it off of, I think, mybobbin.com. Yep, it's a mybobbin kit. I think I translated the designer as Adriana. I am stitching it with the kit floss, but not on the kit fabric. I'm not doing the background right here. It's like a plywood backer, because this is a bookshelf that is also, a row of townhouses. So let's stand up for this one. So this is how far I've gotten. And just giving you an idea, this is the fabric, so I've got a fair amount to go. So we're gonna do the foldy bit to give you a closer view. So I've got the middle part done with some of the ground in front. Completely done. And then I started moving. So this green book is almost done. There's just a little bit more color to put here, but he's only this tall. This guy has more to go up here. So he's close to done, but he's still got some stitches to do. But this is just fun. I mean, the kit floss, it's shorter lengths, but it's also not so bad because there's a lot of color changes to get the awesome shading that you get in this pattern. Lots of color changes. There I am at. I love this one. So it's being stitched on 32 count Lugana in Summer Sky. I don't think it's a Lugana. I think it's, never mind. It's a Joblin. I bought some more of it recently, well, because I don't think they're making it anymore. So at the retreat at Camp Stitch More, she had some of it, and I bought almost all of it. So, Kingdom of Books is such a fun stitch, and it'll be a WIP for quite a while. I mean, it's nice, like some of the prompts that it really lends itself to houses. There's a book that needs house. These books that are houses, or a prompt that needs houses. Anything like stitch on your project with most number of colors. I think this one wins out over my Mick Christmas. Although I'll have to check to see if one of my new starts trumps both of these. We'll have to see. There's 59 colors in this one. Heard a sound. I'm kind of wondering what that was. Must be a neighbor doing something. Because I don't think it's something I did. Okay. Nope, that's my neighbor. Oh, wait, never mind. It's New Year's Eve. People have already started shooting off fireworks. I'm so glad we don't have pets anymore. For that reason. I miss having pets. I miss having pets. But that's one reason why I'm happy to not have a pet like this right now. Alright, so this is a new start this year. Let's just pull everything out. Because I think this is a new project bag too. I mean, some of them that I show you on new starts are reused project bags. So you've seen them before. But I think this is a new one. So this is Knee High by Hands On Design. I've always loved this pattern. And this one got started this year when a Magical Stitches prompt came along that said something that features a quilt. I'm like, what? But when I went through my pattern stash and I saw this, I was like, bingo! I bought it because I loved it. I've been wanting to start it, so reason to start it. And I also, let's see, I also used it for, no. I was thinking I used it for a retreat start as well, but I don't think so. So, let's get my thread up out of the way. And this is how far I've gotten. I have that massive lawn put in. And I'm starting on the barn. Yep. So, barn. So this has actually been helpful in last year we had 2 prompts of something in a quilt, something with a quilt in it. And so, because the book series was all about the quilts, so this was helpful for it. I have swapped a lot of the colors in this, so when I get done with the stitching, I will let you know what my swaps were. As you can see, the one that's there was very baby puke green. Did not like it, so I chose a different green. I mean, the words are a little bit harder to read, but you can still see, you can definitely read them, and I think it works. But there it is. Card. This is being stitched on 32 count Lugana Winter Brook by Under the Sea Fabrics. It's just a nice background. I did a floss toss and this worked really well for it. Colors just show up very nicely on it. Okay, so Needle Minder is by No Name Needle Minders. I don't know if she still does them, but this was a gift at a retreat. She allowed us to pick one of her needle minders from her website, and she would give it to you at the retreat we were going to. Graham Guard, made by me. Project bag is by Stitch Toolbox on Etsy. But, let's see, really pretty interior fabric, but love, 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 love this paisley print. So pretty, so pretty. I mean, the camera is just not doing it justice. In real life, it is just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Let's get it up there a little closer. Yeah, I think you can see it now. Gorgeous. Love my paisleys. That is a fun stitch. And it does, well, it does have a lot of things in it to help it fit prompts. It was nice. There was one month where it was a spell out, and I don't remember if I got all of the letters in here or if I got most of the letters in here, but it was nice to get a decent amount of progress on it. There we go. Alright, let's see, there's one more in this bucket. Let's take a quick refreshment. This was a new start this year. May the 4th. I'd finished my Star Wars stitch, so I had to start a new one. So, this is the way. Okay, apologies for my printer just couldn't handle all that black. So, but you get the idea. So, Mandalorian with Grogu. And I am stitching this on 16 count black Ada with all the called for DMCs. And this is how far I've gotten. So I think I got one more line, and then the next, so as you can see, it kind of graduates down. So what it is, this is a solid color, the next band is a blend of those two colors, so then a solid color and a blend of those two, you know, so the next one is a blended band. But I like having a Star Wars project for May the 4th. So this is called Mando. I think it's called Mando, or did I call it Mando? I don't know. But it's on Etsy. Or well, at least it was. No idea if it still is. Being that Disney is the way it is. But the Etsy seller is called Caplio. There's the name. If you're interested. Actually, no, wait. I'm stitching this on 18 count black Ada. I think I said 16, but it's actually 18. Started on, or from May the, for May the 4th. I didn't actually start it till May the 5th, because life. Bucket number 2 done. Next one is Mick Christmas. He's a carryover. He's a pattern by Carried Cross Stitch. Let me find my card. Or, no. card would be helpful. But, so, there's the name. You have to Google it because it's a merchant site that they've set up or something like that. It's not Etsy. Although they might, I don't know if they've started selling on Etsy yet or not. But this is what it looks like. He's so adorable. I saw somebody stitching him and it just, I fell in love with it. He's adorable. Although he is way confetti. So I'm stitching this with all the called for DMC on a 32 count Lugana in taupe. There is how much I've gotten. So cute. Look at the little face. Little eyes and nose. So cute. I got a little stalled because once I got done with his eyes and his nose, I started on the transition, and it's way confetti. I'm really considering maybe trying to do parking, like I would do with full coverage. I'm gonna try. Well, I just have to get through this transition, and then there will be runs of color, you know, for all those little tufts of beard. But he got a lot of love one year at Stitch Away. I put a lot of stitches in him there. Oh, so cute. He's gonna be adorbs. He is adorbs. He's one I'm kind of looking for. I don't have, you know, the need to finish, but I am looking forward to when he is finished because it's just so cute. So his name is Mick Christmas. She has a series. She has quite a few of gnomes of this style and different seasonal stuff and hobby stuff, I think. So, oh wait, we're over on this side. No. Do this. So this is a new start this year. Let's pull everything out. It's a kit by Dimensions called Merry and Bright Bear. Here we go. So cute. So he's gonna get some love this month because I needed something with a tree in it, and he also fit a Bringle prompt. We'll talk about that later. I almost, if I wasn't so obsessed with one of the projects, one of the WIPs from later, I'll show you. I'll let you know when we get to it. If I wasn't so obsessed with that one, this one would have been used for the prompt, something with food, drink, or a feast in it. And to be honest, if polar bears and penguins lived on the same continent, that penguin would be food for that polar bear. They always seem to put them together in cartoons, but, you know, in real life, they would not be friends. But this is adorable. Adorable. So this one I started as one of my New Jersey 3 and 3s this year. And this is how far I've gotten. All the white. Yeah, I think there you can see a little bit better. So this is being stitched on 32 count Arctic by Picture This Plus in a Lugana. I thought this would be a perfect wintry background for this project. Again, a lot of white. I had to pull out almost 500 stitches because I miscounted at one point. But I am down back to, well, no. How far am I? Yeah, I am back down to where I was. So, trying to figure out if there's a, there you can kind of see the white. So, but he will get some love this month. He was started. Yeah, okay. New start. So this needle minder is a little constellation needle minder by Caffeinated Cat Crafts on Etsy. Grime Guard made by me. Project Bag is another Cardinals one by Creations by Mary Rose. Pretty. He's a fun. I was happy to start him because that was when I started to realize that I had so many kits, and I was really trying to find reasons, or when I had a prompt that I didn't already have a WIP for. Did I have a kit that would really lend itself to? So if you've already seen my video about cross stitch kit start 2024, you know we're starting kits next year. All right. Okay, this next project is patterned by the Blue Flower. It's a carryover from last year. It's called Night Walk Down. There it is. It's a sweet, sweet saying, sweet image. And I had a little trouble with the colors, but I'm working through it. So let me get my card out. This is being stitched on 32 count color and cotton called Desert Taupe, Lugana, and there's where I'm at. I re-charted some of her face, and I think I did that one 1/1. Yep, I did her face 1/1. I'm going to do her hand 1/1 too. The color that the skirt was in, the base color was a limited edition, which was no longer available, so I had to pick my own. But I'm currently working. I'm going to bring the border. I don't know how far I'm going to go on the border. If I'm going to continue it around, or I just want to get to the corner. We'll see. I think I might do it all the way around. But I think it's just so cute. So I love the color that her hair was done in. Cinders, I think it is. And it just had that red, very red mixed with black. And it looks so good. I'm pretty sure I changed the color on the board, one of the colors on the border, but until I finish, I won't know. Now, if you've seen previous videos, I had a flower here and I complained about the color. Problem was I grabbed the wrong color. So I think that one was my fault. Kept blaming the pattern. I think what it was is there's two. So one company, there's two companies that have the same color name. And I grabbed the wrong company's floss for it. So at some point I will restitch that flower. We'll see what it looks like in the called for. So this one was started for Stitch Mania 2020. I did not do Stitch Mania in 2023. I have plans to participate in 2024, but we'll see. For some reason, May I get too... life just gets to be too much. I don't know why that is. But we're gonna try. I'll do the blimey cat method. Okay, so this one is a new start. Preface this by, if your name is Mary Ellen Brown, this, you need to go away for a few minutes. Because this is a gift. I debated whether showing it on here, and I just decided, you know what, let's just do it. I mean, granted, if she finds out about it, it's still a good gift. But this was started as a stitch along with some other stitching misfits. We did an Erin Elizabeth stitch along, or start along. So you're one in a melon. Because Mary Ellen goes by melon a lot. So this is how far I've gotten. So we're almost done. I am not finished with this because I'm doing something special with part of it. I don't want to give that secret away in case she's listening. But so close. This is stitched on vintage 32 count vintage Stormy Night Lugana, and it's all DMC. I made one change, and I think it was the color in the popsicle stick. The color just didn't make sense, so I picked one of the shades in the popsicle stick. Didn't make sense, so I picked my own. What I did is I picked I think I needed the darker shade, and I just picked the DMC family, a darker in that same family as the light one. But this was such a fun stitch. Erin Elizabeth designs are just fun, just super fun. So this was started in June of this year, and I've just had fun with it. Alright, so for the other stitching misfits that I said I would send it to them to do their part on it. Sorry, life. We'll get to it. Okay, so since it's a new start, we'll do needle minder is a popsicle. I bought this from an Etsy seller called Siggy's Closet. S-I-G-G-Y. Siggy's Closet. It's just a cute, and it matchy. And grime guard made by me. Let's get the pattern out of the view. And project bag by Creations by Mary Rose, and it's the same fabric as the grime guard. I love it. Watermelons, so matchy, and the watercolor look is one of my favorite colors. You've seen this one before. I've used it for other projects. Love it. And in fact, it was another project with a watermelon in it. There it is. Alright, Mary Ellen, if you're watching, you can come back. Oh, we're going this way. I don't think she watches my videos, but I can't be certain. Can't be certain. this is the beginning. This is a new start. It was my New Year new start for 2023. It's on an 11 by 11 Q snap, so it's a little tough to get out. So this is One Nation by Bygone Stitches. And this is how far I've gotten. Boom. So let me grab my, I should remember just to grab my card all the time. And let's do this. Yeah. Alright. So card. This, I'm stitching this on 32 count Sandcastle Joblin by Schult. What Schult? Schult. Anyways, the non-Zweigart. So you can see it's a nice beigey color with a fair amount of modeling in it. I thought. So I am sold on the blue. I'm not sold on the white. I might change that to chalk. I'm going to stitch one of them in chalk and make a decision. But right now, the blue is Mermaid's Fin. The red I've chosen, which I think is going to work really well, is Ribbon Red. So let's put that up there. Boom. So I think that red is going to work really well. I just think that white doesn't stand out enough. And this, the white that I'm currently using is Classic Colorworks Bamboo. So there it is. I mean, it's just got too much beige in it for this fabric. See, okay. So I think we're going to be changing to chalk. But when I pick this up again, I will probably stitch one of the stars in chalk and make a decision. So there we go. Boom. So I think I've made a fair amount of progress on it, but it's a beautiful pattern. And my plan is to stitch 3 of the states in blue. Figure out how to get these stuff back in here. 3 of the states in blue. I'm going to stitch my birth state, my husband's birth state, and my son's birth state. So Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and New Mexico. Yep. So told you all the information that you need. So I have fabric that I want to get a project bag made for this, but I'm not 100% on the fabric. You know, I'm still dither. Decisions for me sometimes are tough, but I'll get to it eventually. So the next one is a carryover, and this is, you know, I should probably find the let's make a note. Need to do a pic for this project. It's from dailycrossstitch.com. Go back here. Pink floppy. So it's a floppy disk in pink. But of course I don't have any pink on here. It's the darker part of it is done in the red. So that's, you can see what I've stitched so far. What parts of the floppy disk. Because I work in IT, so this is something that was fun. Alright, so this is being stitched on another piece of that 32 count Picture This Plus petals. That is actually 30 count. I'm using the called for DMC, and it's just sometimes it's the only thing that fits a prompt. That's when it gets stitched on. So it was originally started on another piece of fabric that I ended up hating it on, so I restarted it on this in 2021 for Bringo. But that was originally started for a Magical Stitches prompt Muggle studies, so you know that was during the Harry Potter year. Ooh, this one makes me, well, this one is a Teresa Kogut. It's a carryover. My card. Oh, the picture and the card. So this is Pray. Eventually, if I get this done, this will be a gift for my mother-in-law. Because one of her favorite things is angels. Although I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change this bright pink out for a slightly more natural look in pink. But this is as far as I've gotten. It's a very confetti. Let's get that thread out of there so you can see it a little better. There we go. A lot of confetti. So this is being stitched on 32 count Picture This Plus, Lugana, and Legacy. And I'm using all the called for colors, which is all DMC. This was also started for Stitch Mania 2020. That was a good Stitch Mania year. Lots of projects that I had been wanting to start for a long time. Got started that year. I enjoy seeing the picture develop. This was a magazine monthly. The first year we did magazine monthly challenge group, Facebook group was in. I actually was trying to participate in the monthly magazine starts, and this was one of them that I did. Since then I've decided I don't quite enjoy doing that, because I was starting stuff that I didn't love. But this one is it's going to be nice when it finishes. So this is called, let me show you the picture. So this is from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2015. And it's designed by Pickle Barrel Designs. So the actual piece, as it goes further, and it has 3 scarecrow. But I really thought it would just look very nice if it had a single scarecrow on it. And I'm stitching this on 30 count Joblin and Bittersweet Light. That thread is giving you a weird look. So there it is. I have outlined the scarecrow completely, so he is going to be nothing but fill in after this point. And I think when I finish him, I'll do a little bit more of the ground going this way to balance the pattern. And I haven't decided if I'm going to stitch the moon that's up in the corner here. And there's a moon up there. Haven't decided. I think when I finish I will make a decision. But my intention was I wanted this to look like a summer or autumn. Okay, so it's dried corn stalks. It's a Halloween-ish pattern. I wanted it to look like late day dusk in Wisconsin, and I thought that orange in the background would just look beautiful as that dusk color. So I am stitching this with DMC 3021, and I think it's working really well. I started with black and I didn't like it. I started doing some in dark gray. Didn't quite like it, so I chose a super dark brown, and that worked. That worked really well. So yeah, the magazine challenge was in October and something spooky. And so I'll tell you a little story. Growing up, I had a lot of freedom. My parents divorced when I was 7, and my mom worked full time. So I had a lot of freedom. Good thing I was a good kid. But one movie she forbid me to watch when I was younger, the only movie out of everything on HBO and everything on Skinamax, was Children of the Corn. I don't know if her beef was with the religious. I don't think so. It might have been. But I'm glad I listened to her. I didn't watch Children of the Corn until I was in my teens. Because after I watched it, late autumn cornfields creeped me out. Just creeped me frick out. So I'm glad I listened and waited until I was older to watch it, because I spent a lot of my childhood visiting family and friends that lived on farms, running through the cornfields. And I watched a movie recently. I can't remember the name of it. But it was part of it. There was a scarecrow that came to life and was just creepy as shit and so malevolent. So this one just worked for me for a spooky theme. But he's nice when he sometimes he's the only thing that fits prompt. So it's nice to have those projects around. Here's a card. This is a new start this year. I bought the pattern at Stitch, New Jersey when we went to visit Needlework Expressions. No, not Needlework Expression. Needlework Delights, I think. Anyways, the store in New Jersey. So this is from Dirty Annie's Southern Style. It's called Seahorse and Seashells and Seahorses. I'm doing the seahorse because it was a Magical Stitches prompt, something with a horse in it. So it's a seahorse. It works. And this is, get it right side up. This is how far I've gotten. Ooh, that is blowing out really bad. Let's try to fold it just so. Sometimes my border fabric will blow out a pattern. Ugh. There, you can kind of see the oh, there you go. So the thread is called Cottage Blue by Gentle Arts. So there it is. And it's the called for, and it's beautiful. So I just have, this is the middle, so I just have the bottom hat, this is where his tail goes around. So, but it's a decent start. He'll get some love this month because he fits. There's a prompt for something monochromatic. And another prompt with something with a horse in it. So, it works. So he's being stitched on 32 count white Lugana with the single color called for fancy floss. Nope. So he doesn't have a grime guard or a needle minder right now because he, I needed that Q-snap for something else. I've since ordered more, although I'll have to order more with my plans for next year. So, yep. But he's nice. He's a pretty project, and as you can see, sometimes the only thing that fits a prompt. Oh, last one in this bucket. So, almost done with bucket number 3. So this is a carryover. You've seen this one before. This is my Silver Moon Tea by Mirabilia. Let me find my card. Oh, sirens. So you're going to start hearing some dogs howl here in a minute. Unless they're not out. Because almost always, sirens. Neighbor back across the alley, our neighbor's dogs are every time there's a siren. Why don't I have a card for this? Maybe the card got... Yep, the card made it into the pattern envelope. So this is my Silver Moon Tea. I am so far so close. I'm not close, let's put it that way, but I've made a good amount of progress. So she's being stitched on 32 count Lugana in cream with all the called for DMC. So if we get up close, can you see? I've done the steam from the teacup, and I'm bringing the yellow cream color in the moon down. It's really close to the fabric color, but I've made it to there with the moon. So bringing that down, and then I'll start getting into the teacup and some of her dress that goes this way. And I think I'm going to do her skin 1/1. I'm deciding. And then there is a crap ton of beads. So she's gotten a few prompts this year. Previous year not so many, but in the years previous to that, there was one year she was getting a prompt like every month. So like I said, sometimes the prompts have a flavor in certain projects. Get a lot of love that year. So I originally started this at the very first Mirabilia retreat, which is now the Stitching Sirens retreat in San Antonio, because I was thinking it's a Mirabilia retreat. Maybe I should start a mirror pattern at the retreat, and this was the one I picked. I just love the image of it. So pretty. And at the time it was also a Magical Stitches prompt, something with a brown thread, because her bench has quite a bit of brown. You really see it better in the stitched piece. Yep. So there's a fair amount of brown in that, and that worked. So I'm making progress. But she has I have no plans for her. She's just a fun stitch. She's got so much floss, there's 2 bags of it. And this, even though this is a carryover, I'm going to show you the project bag because I made this. So pretty. So I added a little cross-stitched piece on it. And I love my paisleys. So, and it's a big bag, so it fits a big 11 by 11 Q-snap really well. Alright, so bucket number 3 done. Let's start on the final bucket. So this is a new start. This is Springtime Quaker from Stitches Through the Years, and that's what it should somewhat about look like. Again, my printer kind of struggled with the colors, just the nuance of the colors. And so this is one that did not get touched this year. So did I say it was a new start? I did. It was actually started last year. I started it for not last year, but last year for New Jersey's retreat, the 6 and 6. So this is what my 1 hour of stitching did. So this is being stitched on 32 count light taupe Lugana, and I think it's gonna look, the colors when I do floss toss look beautiful on this. So right now I'm kind of, well, it depends on the prompt. Sometimes a prompt will lend itself. I've been getting more of the autumn one done on this one. So I am using all of the called for fancy floss, except I am changing their called for Classic Colorworks use brick to, I changed it to Week Styleworks Aztec Red. And I think that one just worked a lot better. Yep. So, I have summer kitted. It will get started whenever something spurs me to start it. Okay, so that's there. Okay, the next was a new start this year. This is a kit that I bought at New Jersey. Is it New Jersey? I think it was, because we drove into Delaware to go to Ye Old Cross Stitch, I think. Let me see. Okay, so this is a Marilyn Baston kit called Summer Fruit. I love her style because it's a painterly, watercolor-ish kind of style, and it's actually a Lennart kit. This is being stitched on Color and Cotton Salt Rock 32 count Lugana. there's what I have done so far. So pretty. So pretty. So this was started for Magical Stitches prompt. I needed something with fruit found in an orchard. So I was like, okay. And when I went through my pattern and kit stash, looking for, orchard fruit, this jumped out at me. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start that. So it's being stitched with the kit threads and the needle minder. Little bluebird. He's so cute. He's from the Etsy seller Stu Art. So the name Stu Art Stitches Shop. So I placed a fairly sizable order from that because I had a lot of cute enamel ones. So that was nice. But I bought this salt rock as Annie's. What's it? Annie's. It's on Bonanza is the platform. So, trying to remember what her name is. I didn't write it down here. But she was doing a clearance on some of they did a fabric of the month one year, and she had extras, and so I bought, I don't know if you can see, it's just this beautiful variegated neutral salt rock, and the colors, just boom. Alright, so this is, and the grime guard made by me. 99% of my grime guards were made by me. And this project bag is Mystic Metal Creations on Etsy. But this beautiful floral on the back. I thought that was gorgeous. It kind of has a William Morris kind of look. I love William Morris artwork, so that's why I bought it. There it is. So this is, this is one of two Marjolin Baston patterns that I have, and I'm starting another one next year. And who knows, maybe I'll start even more. Because I'm accumulating her stuff. Okay, I gotta lean. Okay, this is a carryover from last year. Started it at last year's New Jersey retreat, is the 6 and 6. And this is Sunset by Works by ABC. Get up close. I just love that it's a geometric pattern, and the way the colors gradiate is just beautiful. So I am stitching this on a white 32 count Lugana with all the called for fancy floss. And this is how, get up there, you can oh there you go, you can see the color right there. Beautiful. So I'm just bringing it down within the Q-snap. I'll do everything within the Q-snap, and then I'll move over and do what's left. This is over halfway, so get most of it done. Just beautiful. So there we go. This one is a fun stitch. I mean, love it. It's gonna be a nice when I get further. Okay, let's move on. Here's my card. This one. Okay, this is a new start this year. I started this for magazine monthly pop-up challenge called Oh My Gourd. I like to do the magazine monthly pop-ups. So when that came on my radar this year, and I looked through my WIPs, I didn't have a single one with a stupid pumpkin in it. It's like, okay. So look through my pattern stash, and when I had 3 possibilities, and this one just jumped out at me. And this is the one that I'm mildly obsessed with. It has gotten a lot of love these past few months. So I started it in October. Was it October? I made notes. No, okay, I did it. No, I didn't. Whenever. I think it might have been September. So this is Marilyn Baston. I keep saying Marilyn. It's Marjolaine. Marjolaine Baston. Let's take the plastic off. The 4 Seasons. Let's see if I can get a good... I mean, it's a big project. There's a lot. So if you want to see this fully finished, go to Calico Whimsy. And she did this one a couple years ago. It's cool. Just, like I said, I love the artist style. Watercolor painterly, and it is just gorgeous. Okay, let's find my card. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count white Lugana. And let's stand up first, because so you can see the sheer scope of this project. So, oh, and there's my progress. So it's a big project. Let's sit back down and do the foldy. Foldy. So you can see it a little bit closer. Okay, there we go. I started with the bench. That's just beautiful. The colors are beautiful. Just the shading that she uses. Her artwork translates so well to cross stitch. It's beautiful. So then I moved down and I did the mushroom, and then I did the seed pod vignette, and I just recently finished the squirrel and the broom. So I enjoyed stitching this, I enjoyed stitching this, I enjoyed stitching this, and I'm doing all the back stitch. There's just little bits of back stitch on each one, on most vignettes, that just add a little detail, so I'm doing it as I go along. Squirrel was okay to stitch, because he was kind of confetti-y, but it was just a few colors to confetti that tail. That broom was a bit of a slog, though. But I got through it, and the little leaves that are stuck in the broom. I'm not certain if these are leaves on the bottom or if these are seeds. Or like, maybe Brits have a different type of acorn than we do. or whatever nut squirrels there like to eat. I'm thinking that might be it. Pine nuts? Who knows? But this pattern is so good for prompts, because last month it was a spell out, and I was able to do all 2200 stitches in all of the things in this pattern. I was able to spell out winding ways with everything in here. And so the entire month stitching. So then I got most of the way through the vignette, and then I just continued stitching the rest of the month and got some extra stitches in to finish him off. So my plan was to do the pencil and then come up here and start the border, bring the border down and around. But Magical Stitches kind of changed my plans a little bit. So I'm gonna do the pencil, and then I'm gonna do this plate of gourds because I need gray. So that plate will take care of the gray requirement for one of the prompts, and green. So this gourd has green, but there's just a few stitches shy. So what I'll do is I'll come down into the border here, and I'll stitch those green stitches, and I'll start bringing the border up, across, and then up. I'll probably go to about midway with the border, and then I'll come down and start bringing it over this way, because my plan is to do the border, then do this guy, and then come up here and do these, because I'm taking the name out. I don't quite really like the name in there. I've seen it stitched without, and it looks really good. I mean, granted, it's not that big of a change, but I need to, once I take the name out, kind of shift this image down a little bit. Try to get it more centered in that space, and then here too, when I take the name out, get this, and this one might move down a couple of stitches too, just to try to balance it. So I want to get the other stuff stitched before I work with the spacing on those other ones. But it's just, it's so gorgeous. If I really tell you, go see Christine's video on her finish, and you'll see it's beautiful, just beautiful. But yeah, this is the one I've been mildly obsessed with. So it has gotten a lot of love in the last 2 months, and I'm still feeling the pull. So it's getting a fair number of prompt stitches from Magical Stitches and Bringo this year. So I got the pamphlet, and I'm using DMC from my stash. So it's a new start. I've been kind of that's because I did stick it in a bag, so I'm using a Ladybug needle minder, and I think that really works. Grime Guard made by me. Not terribly matchy-matchy. It's butterflies, so that works. And then this one, this project bag, is a beautiful floral with butterflies. And let's see, it doesn't have a tag. Oh wait, it's on the, so it's called Just Crossing Stitches. Let me get my, and it's on Etsy. It's ridgecreekstudio.com as well. But it's a nice, pretty Give me a moment to get everything back into the... So what I do is, so let me show you real quick. What I do is the vignettes that have it's on a page break, I print the I copy the 2 pages and I splice them together with scrapbooking adhesive. Makes it a lot easier to stitch them without having to move back and forth. And this has so much floss, what I do is when I go to stitch a vignette, I have a master set in a different project bag or in a gallon size baggie. Excuse me, hiccup. Sort of a hiccup. And I pull only the colors that are used in that vignette, so I don't have so much to carry around with me. But yeah, so he's gonna get quite a few stitches this next month. And it's beautiful. Beautiful. Give me a sec. I need to lubricate the throat a little. I mean, it's funny from these videos, you might think that I talk a lot. I don't. In real life, in my day-to-day life, I don't talk much. So these is a carryover. My card. Here's the picture. So this is Through the Storms by Silver Creek Samplers. I'm doing this as a anniversary piece for my husband, and I am making progress. So here we go. Got one hanging thread, and here we are. Boom. There we are. Oh, so pretty. So I've got all the words done. I'm on the last cloud. Need to do the sun. It's peeking out from the cloud, and all the raindrops coming down from the cloud, and then I am done. Ah, so pretty. Alright. So down here, you'll see let's fold it a little bit better. So my husband's initials, my initials, and then our wedding date. But we were stationed in Germany, and we actually got married downtown at the courthouse, and then flew to the States for a wedding with the family. So there's the date we married in Germany. So there it is. Boom. So cute. I made one change in here. The color in the umbrella, I think it's the lighter color, I'm using gassed antique rose instead of gassed copper, because that copper just didn't work for me. So this color right here is antique rose, and I think it coordinated with this color a lot better, and that's how it's looking. So this was started for a Magical Stitches prompt, something with a duck in it. That one year they just had such specific prompts. So 2 ducks, it worked. And since it was one that I had planned to start, alright, so details, so it's all flat fancy floss. The one change, I'm stitching this on 32 count Vintage Stormy Night Lugana, and I thought this was a great stormy sky background, and it's working out really well, really well. So this might be a Year of WIPs pledge, methinks. But I have to decide on that pretty quickly. I think by the 15th of January. So that's with Melanie Watkins in the Soulful Stitching Facebook group. Is Year of WIPs. Okay, so this is a new start this year. It was one of my Stitch New Jersey 3 and 3, but also it was inspired by friends down in El Paso. They said they were going to start it. I don't think they started it. Because I generally don't do mystery sals after learning that they're not really for me. But, so this is, and it's done now. You know, it was a mystery sal this year, but here is the full picture. Treasure Island by Owl Forest Embroidery. So there's their finished piece. So to be honest, I've never read Treasure Island, so I don't have a whole, but I started it because I was participating with friends, and this is how far I've gotten. Occasionally, it's a good one to have in my arsenal, because occasionally it's the only one that fits a prompt, so that's when most of the time that's when it gets some stitches in it. I am stitching this on the called for 32 count Lugana. Well, I think theirs is a linen, but I got it in Lugana Vintage Country Mocha, and it was a kit from, I got the floss from Owl Forest. This one I went with the Russian floss base instead of the DMC floss base, and I can say I will never again. This floss has just a horrible feel to it. It's just so rough. It just doesn't feel good. I have Thread Magic to use with it. But there it is. So, and my needle minder it was from my Caffeinated Cat Crafts order on Etsy. Pretty little sea turtle. I thought it was kind of fitting. Grime Guard made by me. And project bag. You've seen this before. This is a Bags by Beth B. Blackbird fabric. And this one was a gift from my friend Carol. So it's a nice little bag. So there's Treasure Island. One of the projects that I just basically keep on hand. I don't UFO projects. I just keep it, and eventually it'll come in handy for a prompt when nothing else fits. We're getting close. I think there's 4 more. Alright, so this is a carryover. Card and Welcome Spring by the Drawn Thread. Let's see, there it is. And I am stitching it on 32 count taupe Lugana. Surprise, surprise. And this is how far I've gotten. So this was a year of WIPs. I did not finish it. I mean, I did meet the goal for year of WIPs last year because I pledged 7 projects and I finished 4. But this was not one of them. So it's all done right up until the E and the W at the beginning. So 99% done with the E and the bunny. There's just some color for his ears and his eye to do. And then W and all the flowers that are in the W. So this is close. This is very close. So this will probably be on this year's year of WIPs as well. Let's do a Kilroy Kitty pose. So this is being stitched with some called for and some changes. Some I changed and then I changed back to the called for. So I'm going to have to do a list of what I have not changed and what I've changed at the end. So let's get up there a little closer. So there it is. That flower is pretty. Bunch of Smyrnas. There's the robin and the egg basket. A lot of specialty stitches in that basket. And then another robin. So, good progress on that one. I'm hoping I find some prompts this year to just finish this off. So one little tip I've found, okay, with my floss bags, when I write in thick Sharpie, sometimes it transfers to the vinyl on the inside of the bags, but if I write in thin Sharpie, it doesn't. So I gotta try to keep the bag on the thick ones away from the vinyl. Okay, so okay, this one is a carryover. This was also a year of WIPs this year that was not a finish. I'm close. I'm close. So this is Winter Snow Owl, boom, by Blackberry Lane Designs. My son loves barn owls, which this is. It's a barn owl. And this is how far I've gotten. Alright, so I am currently working on the 1/1 snowflakes in his border. So once I finish the 1/1 stitching on those, I add beads and then it will be done. So pretty. So pull it back a little. I mean, it's hard to see those snowflakes right now because they're 1/1. When the beads get added, they'll be a little bit more noticeable. But he's so cute. I'm stitching him on 32 count Lugana. Picture this plus dwarf. Nice blue that I thought the white would pop off of. Although it's tough because 1/1 stitching is just so delicate. So maybe I'll put him in my year of WIPs this year as well, because I'd like to be able to get him finished and made into an ornament for my son. My son turned 17 this year, so I mean, granted, we don't think he's going to move out when he turns 18. Who knows? But it's kind of looking like he probably won't, and we're okay with that. Me and my husband agreed. In today's climate, this is just the way the world is today, it makes more sense if he stays with us and he goes to school or he starts working. We're not gonna, and he's a good kid. He's a good kid, so it'll work. But at some point, he's gonna leave the house, and I want to be able to send some of his ornaments with him. Some of the stuff I've stitched for him, I need to start FFOing, so he can go with it. So I got 2 left. This is a new start this year. It was started for Baringo. One of the prompts was a magazine new start. So I decided to stitch this little guy called Winter Squirrel, and he's from Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2010, and the designer is the Victoria Sampler. Just a cute little squirrel. And I have gotten this much. See, yep, you are seeing the white. So these, I picked all my own colors, and I pulled from my leftover fancy floss box for most of them. So when I finish, I will tell you all of the flosses I used. But so he's cute, and he might be a finish this year. So I'm stitching him on 32 count taupe Ugana, or this is light taupe. Yeah, light taupe. The white shows up well enough on it, and I didn't want to use the straight taupe Lugana because I thought maybe the browns would be a little bit too more blendy in. But yeah, new start. So this is Grime Guard made by me. You've seen this before. I had this on another project. Needle Minder was a free gift from Crickle Wood Crossing for it was in a project bag that I ordered from her. And one thing that I was debating on doing, we'll see how it works. So, you know, he's holding an acorn to munch on. And I was thinking about doing an acorn, a charm acorn. Although the sizing was kind of tough. So I ordered, it was kind of hard, so I ordered these on Etsy, but they're just too big. They're too big. And then I ordered these. Where are you? Packaging sometimes is challenging to find. Where it starts. There you are. So I got these little guys. So you can see this. You can see the size difference. Yep. So I'm kind of thinking that this size will work for this little guy. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Once I get it stitched without stitching the acorn, I'm gonna test this out. I might have to remove the little circle flange and find a floss that will blend really well with this and just do a single stitch to hold it in place, because the transition between the acorn and the cap will be a nice place for just a strand of floss to go across and hold in there. This might work, this might be a total failure, but you know, won't know until I try. And it was kind of cool, this package also has little pine cones in it. So those were just a let's see if this will work kind of thing. So he's gonna be cute. I'm kind of glad this year they didn't do a magazine start prompt. Let's go this way. And this project bag, let me get my card back out, was purchased from Joyful Stitching Store on Etsy. And it's just pretty little dragonflies on a yellow background. No matchy-matchy with this one. This was just what was within reach when I made this start. Okay, so we got one more WIP. And this is a carryover. So this is my "0 Days." It's an Etsy pattern from a store called Modern Counts. I don't know if they're there anymore, but I bought it from them. And here's basically what it looks like. It looks like a safety board. So 0 days, you know, since the last safety incident, but it's sarcasm instead. And my husband is well known for his sarcasm. So that's as far as I've gotten. This has gotten a fair amount of love this year. So I keep this around for when so there's a prompt that requires black stitching in black thread, because it's nothing but. Trying to think what was the last prompt that I used, because I mean it was started for a Magical Stitches prompt, stitches in black thread, but I'm trying to remember what prompt. It might also have been, or it might have been one with words. Yeah, this one's a good one for one with words as well. This is being stitched on 18 count white Aida, and you can see I used friction to do little gritty tick marks to help me count that border out. And I'm using Anchor Black for it because the coverage is really good. So what I was thinking, that once I'm done, if I'm not okay with the coverage, because when you're up on it with your readers, you're like, oh, that coverage sucks. But once you get some distance from it, it doesn't look bad anymore. But I've found with black, what works really good is if you've got black that's not quite covering really well, do back stitching around and in between the stitches, and you'd be amazed. It just, because I did it on one project and I'm like, ooh, that works really well. And there it is. 38, no, 37 whips, because I had a finish that I didn't write down right away. So it's 37 whips currently in my arsenal. I call it arsenal because I like to do a lot of prompt stitching. Alright, so let's do a little review and stats, and we'll do some plans. Okay, so this year I had 20 starts. I had 11 finishes. 6 of my starts were starts and finishes. I started the year with 28 whips, and I'm ending with 37 whips. Let's see, fun. I kept track of the days I stitched. So I stitched 249 days this year. My lowest month was July, where I had 12 days I stitched, and my highest was April, where I had 29 days in that month that I stitched. And for the year, I stitched 55,521 stitches. So it's pretty good. I mean, I work full time too, so it's nice. I participated in the entire year of magical stitches, all the prompts, all of the reading prompts. I did all of the main book series. I did all of the called for extra prompts that were each month, and then I completed the full list of the leftover extra prompts, completed that. And the standalone book list, I got 4 out of 11 done. So not quite the whole thing in the reading, but so much progress. And I really enjoyed it, but all the prompts. I participated in Bringo in that January of last year. Had a blast with that. I did March Madness with the Sun City Stitchers. I did Year of Whips, completed my goal for Year of Whips, and I also participated in AB Singo with monthly magazine challenge this year. It was my first year doing AB Singo, and it was really fun. It's situated a lot like Bringo, and it's just with the ABCs. Although this year was my name's Trisha, and the letter that they cut out to make it fit the 25 blocks in a bingo was the letter T. But it worked. So other things I participated in were the magazine monthly challenge has pop-ups, and I participated in Spring into Action, where you were supposed to stitch on the closest to a finish, and at the time it was one of my jingles. So I finished that during that prompt pop-up. I participated in Earth What It's Worth, because that one was anything nature-ish, wildlife, plants, sea life, you know, all that stuff. So I stitched on, I got a lot of stitches on Fox and Friend during that one. And then Oh My Gourd, where I started the 4 seasons and did that. That was fun. I like those. So one thing I didn't write down here was the Sun City Stitchers is already also doing a Stitch College Game Day, where we followed the college football teams. We picked 10 teams, and we followed them through the regular season, and every time they won, it was 100 stitches. So some people pledged certain prompts per team. Some did certain WIPs for each week, whatnot, and they had it planned out ahead of time. Me, I was a little bit more fluid, and whatever I had that week that I was putting a fair amount of stitches in for prompts, I would also do it, you know, so I would double dip a lot. So I would pick that weekend what WIP was going to get all the stitches. I mean, there were some weeks where I had 9 teams win, so that was 900 stitches for, and the thing is the games happened mostly the weekend, sometimes Wednesday, Thursday, occasionally, but you had, I mean, it's not like something you had to have all your stitches done by the time the next week rolled around, but I did manage to get all of my stitches by the time the next week rolled around. And that was a good event to participate. Not as good as March Madness, because there was a March Madness, so basketball seems to be much better organized than football, college football. I mean, right now they're in there. I mean, all the bowl games that aren't playoff games, it's kind of weird. And then I have one team that's in a playoff game on the 1st, so it's tomorrow, and I would say I'm doing stitches for that, but I'm not really, but it's not like because, let's see, do I have that sticky in here? Nope. So after I finished the 2200 stitches on the 4 seasons, I did another 1,000 and some stitches on it, so I think I'm covered for all of that. But then again, who knows, maybe I do more stitches for it. Alright, so got all that. Alright, for year of WIPs, I finished Fox and Friend, Something Wicked, 'Tis the Holly 4.0, and Winter is Coming. The 3 that I did not finish was DMC Willow, Welcome Spring, and Winter Snow Owl. So maybe I think 2 of those are going to end up in my next year of WIPs. I attended 9 retreats. This next year won't be as many. But I went to Stitch Away in January. I went to Steel City Stitchers in March. I did El Paso Spring Retreat in March as well. Stitch Nanigans this year was in Vegas. That was in April. I went to Craft Gallery in May, and their designer was Teresa Kogut. I did Stitch Con Weekend A in June. We Stitch New Jersey in July. El Paso groups Camp Stitchmore in October, and then I went to Stitching in the Mitten in November. So Riverview Stitching in the Mitten, Michigan, was having a retreat. My friend Carol lives in that area, so she asked me if I wanted to go with her, and I said, sure, I'll go to Michigan in November, which was funny because it was almost the same weather that we're having here in yeah, so it was nice, and it was also disappointing at the same time. I was kind of hoping to see a little snow, but it was fun. All right, so I won't go through what retreats I'm planning this year, so I know for certain I'll be at Stitch Away just over a week. I fly on the 7th. So, Stitchway up in Ohio. It's a keepsakes retreat. I just love the location. So I'm scheduled for StitchCon weekend day again. I'm scheduled for Steel City Stitchers. I'm debating. I don't know if I'm going to go this year. I might. It just depends on what my workload is, and because Stitchaway is a whole week this year. That's a lot of vacation time that is going to eat up. So it depends on how many comp time hours I can accumulate before Steel City Stitchers comes along, whether or not I go or not. I want to go. I hate to say it, it's not so much the I need some more of those pierogies. But I'm kind of hoping the girls I sat with, some of the girls I sat with last year, are going to be there, because that was an awesome group. But I don't think, I would say maybe half, quarter to half might be there. I don't know. We'll see what the Facebook group, the names that I recognize. But also, of course, I do both the spring and the fall retreats with the El Paso crew, because that's a short drive for me. I'm also signed up for, this year, I signed up for the Stitching Sirens. That's a driving retreat. That's 9.5 hours, but it's still driving for me, because I live in New Mexico. I live in the boondocks of the United States. So anything I can do in a day, I consider driving. I'm going to try. We'll see if I can get into Stitch West, because that's also a drive. That's closer to 11 hours up to Salt Lake City. But I've done it before, so I think I can do it again. And I have a much better vehicle now. So I think that drive would be even better, because my poor little RAV4 4-cylinder struggled on those hills. But I am not doing Stitch Shenanigans, because while I enjoyed the retreat, I hated the hotel. And I wasn't too keen on Vegas airport. So I let her know, I let Kenna know that I would really like to see it go back to Phoenix, but she really doesn't want to do it there, because she doesn't want to give any business to the cross-stitch store there. Which I'm like, I can see your point, but that was nice. It was a driving, and that's a nice area. It's comfortable. But so I might have to, I'm gonna cut Stitch Shenanigans out for the time being. Who knows, I might go back, but we'll see. Who knows if I go back to stitching in the mitten? I probably will, because I really enjoy spending time with Carol, and that was a fun retreat. It's a small one. It's nice. I am hoping that at some point this year, the Albuquerque store, cross-stitch store, schedules one of their retreats during a weekend that I don't have another retreat. She has had horrible timing and has scheduled her retreats so many times when there was another retreat going that I've already, because she doesn't post it till after the last one, and so it's only months that you have to plan rather than the whole year like some of these retreats are. So a lot of times I'm already signed up for another one. So I'm hoping that her spring retreat is scheduled for an open weekend, because that's only 4.5 hours. I can go up there, and I am so ready to spend time with some of the girls that I know up there. It's been, I mean, before COVID, it's been quite a while. So I would love to go up there. All right, so other plans. So again, I'm doing magical stitches again. I participate in monthly magazine stuff like Bringo and AB Singo. I try to do all the pop-ups. I haven't gotten around to participating in the cross stick yet, or the magazine starts. I really have gotten away from the magazine starts. I have way too many patterns. I have way too many kits. I have so many Etsy patterns that I want to get to. So, but the acrostic, my friend Patsy down in El Paso has been talking it up. So I might try to work that into my, right now I'm at a comfortable level with the amount of participation in the groups that I'm in, that we'll see if we can work that one in and not overwhelm myself with the extra, trying to mesh things together. Okay, so, and I plan to do the Sun City Stitchers March Madness, that they're going to do it again this year, and probably I'll participate in their Stitch Game Day. Stitch College Game Day, I think is what it's called, group. And who knows what else they come up with if they, oh, excuse me, if you heard that. But, so, magical, I'm so good, I'm so happy. Magical Stitches, January prompts, and Bringo prompts, I managed to completely mesh together. So, all of the Bringo prompts have corresponding Magical Stitches prompts, and I have just 1.5 prompts on the Magical Stitches side that I didn't need to use. So I'm so happy that, because it's already a lot of stitching. If I can double dip in everything, that's what I like to do. So I'm so thrilled with that. All right. Also, yep, a year of WIPs. Gonna do that. And then let's see what else. I have to reach back here. So okay, so you'll see my New Year, New Start. I'll tell you, but I don't have any of the stuff in here with me. I am starting Cirque de Circles from Ink Circles. I wanted to do that one for a while, and I found a beautiful floss at Craft Gallery, and so I decided that was going to be my New Year, New Start. So my cross stitch kit start 2024, my plan for January start is going to be Stormy Lighthouse. It's a kit by Perman, and there's its kit code, and there's the stitch count on it, because kits never come with stitch counts. You have to count the block, count on the pattern to find the stitch count, because they anticipate you're going to use kit fabric. I didn't use any of the kit fabric. So this one I am stitching on 32 count Stormy, vintage Stormy Night Lugana, and I thought this would be a beautiful background for it. Although this is, so the only problem with this kit is they used, this is not stitched right here. So this color is the background fabric that they provided, and it's linen. I'm not going to stitch long linen for something like this. So what I did is I found a floss that matched that color, and it also worked out because where it sits in the gradation progression of these dark blues to light blues, it was in the color family in DMC in that gradation, so it was perfect. So I am actually going to stitch all of it. So this for me is a full coverage. And this is gorgeous. So this is, I chose this for this month because I have a prompt where a project with a house in it. And so I decided to stitch it because there's a house. And so cute. So gorgeous. Just, it's a beautiful picture. And I'm going to enjoy stitching on it. So my plan, I've already calculated. I need to count up 71 and over 46 to get to the corner. So we're going to count up and over so I can start in this corner right here. I mean, I could do a center start, but I think on this pattern I would rather just work down. We'll see, maybe I'll change my mind by the time, because this is not a certain day to start. Some months I'll probably do a first of the month start, but since I'm already doing a New Year new start on the 1st, this one can get bumped a little bit further into the month, just as long as I start one kit a month. And if you haven't seen it and you're interested, one of my last videos, I went through all the kits I chose to start next year. And good news is I found the chickadees pattern, I found their floss. So there'll be a start next year. So, alright, so that's it. That is all of it. WIPs, finishes, plans, review, stats. Oh, I love watching these videos. So that's why I do my own, because I know people love watching them. Alright, so that's it. Yay! We'll see you guys sometime next year. And happy stitching.